So once again, very, very good morning and welcome to all. It's been a pretty good week. How's everyone's week gone? Did you guys make some money? Did you make some pips? We have a trade, a group trade that's running. Well, we've got a couple trades. We've still got that dollar Swiss that's eternally running, but we've got a nice little active position over here on the euro pound. Our euro dollar, just to make sure you're aware of that, never filled. We canceled that puppy. And so that one's out. And that's still far away from that entry point. But anyway, euro dollar, yada yada. Euro pound doing good. We had a nice little buy trade at 87.70. And that one is doing okay. It's doing okay. You can see we're sitting here at about 88.25. So we're up. We're in a little bit of we're in a little bit of profit on this one. Not too bad. Definitely worth protecting some pips. So I will update that in the members area. But remember, we're up a nice little chunk, about 55 pips right now on this euro pound. So lock in some profit, protect a little bit of pippage on this thing, and let's see if we can get just a little bit higher. We had this nice little push, made our way up to weekly pivot, daily pivot, 200 EMA kind of stuff, and it's stalling out just a little bit. I still like the bigger upper targets. I'd really like to see this get up towards 89.50, 80, 9,000, right in that area. We might get a little bit more chop and consolidation, so we've got to be a little bit careful. If we protect this position and lock in profit, whether we lock in 2 pips, as in moving our stop from 87.70, or excuse me, moving our stop to 87 like 72 or 73 to lock in profit and let it run, or if we move our stop to like 88.20, 15.20, we're probably still going to get taken out. This is kind of that end of the week. We're kind of up to the stuff here, and it's stalling out, and it looks like there could be one more pullback, maybe into this 8800 area, 87, 90, somewhere in there, to dip down and then finally make that push higher. I like the overall direction. I think we're totally on track with this thing. Again, we're up 55 pips. That's not bad. So let's move our stops. Let's protect this position as much. I'm going to say as much as you feel comfortable doing. I'm probably going to lock in, on this one with how much chop we have. I'm probably going to lock in a lot. I'm probably going to move my stop to about 88.15 or so, and just leave this thing with 10 pips to kind of bump around and so on. If I have to take 45 pips on the trade, I don't feel too bad about that. So anyway, I'll update that in the notes and in the chat, but let's make sure we do that. So let's protect some pippage on the euro pound. So it's a nice little trade, nice little runner. Everything's looking pretty good there. Okay, so that is that guy. Euro pound's looking good. Okay, so basically my entire focus this whole week has been and continues to be on pound pairs. Now, I wanted to put a bunch of pound trades on, but I didn't want to have too much pound exposure, and so I posted lots and lots and lots of charts in relation to the pound. You can see right here, if you go back through, remember, this is our Day Traders FX alerts, and these are the alerts that I send out, multiple times per day. And so you can see this week, if you just, you can see dates right here. There's Thursday. Here's Thursday still. Here's Wednesday. So I've sent out quite a few charts this week. And again, for lack of wanting to have too much exposure to pound pairs, I didn't want to send out, 3 pound trades at the same time. But I did post some charts in some areas that I want us to keep an eye on. Here, for example, and as I mentioned last night, this was just kind of the update. Hopefully everyone is getting these Day Traders FX alerts. I try to remind everyone on a regular basis to make sure you're connected to Telegram. This is for members only. Here's our chat that, we kind of chat and discuss things in, but this is the members only Telegram. This is where I post things. It comes right to your phone. It's all good and easy and convenient and amazing. So I posted last night as a reminder, Euro pound looking good, and then to watch specifically pound Aussie, pound CAD, pound yen, and all these pound charts that I've posted here. So here's pound yen. This is how it's kind of played out this week. Looking for either some, as I posted in the notes here, and I'm only telling you this to kind of give you a little update of how things are looking and going. And I know people have been into this trade and made some good money on this one. But this is a nice little area. So we're looking for a possible sell or a short at a possible double top with some rejection or just the breakout. And so getting in around this 151.65 area or waiting for the breakout. Well, here is that exact same trend line on pound yen. Um, and it did hop up there. It got up to, you see these highs here about 150, 160 or so. And here it is, 150.40. So it's down 120 pips off that area. And even just getting in, around this breakout area, it was about 150, 55 or so. And it even made its way down about 25 or 30 pips. But this is the kind of stuff. I moved my little arrow out because it was back here a bit. I just moved that to get it out of the way. But definitely it's come off those highs pretty nicely. Nice little double top, and it's working its way on down. So still looking for these targets. At least 150 is a minimal target. Minimal target 150. And let's watch these lows. There could still be some trading opportunities coming up here today on this pound yen, but looking for these lows. And I'm definitely dialed in on pound pairs this week. I want to trade the pound short. And so trading down to this kind of 149, 148.50 area is very, very interesting and excellent. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So let's just say we'll call this, for the sake of calling it something, 148.50. So this is the area we're trying to target here. 148.50. It's 148.30/50. We'll go 50 to kind of stay conservative. But there's still another 200 pips to go. So let's watch this consolidation, but let's be ready to trade the heck out of this thing. It's back, retesting this 200 EMA. It's below the 200 EMA. We've had some opens and closes below there. There's some good reasons that it's going to get down to this level in the near future. So let's be ready to trade the heck out of this thing if you're not already in it. It did a good job double topping up here, but again, to kind of keep exposure somewhat under control, I didn't want to post too many pound pairs because we've already got 1 pound trade. So we've chatted in the chat about this and kind of taking some trades off these highs and so on. And I know several people have. I've gotten a bunch of private messages that are very positive. So I'm happy to see you guys have made some money on that move there. But that's really closely what I'm watching there. So. And we're still watching for that move into 150. So let's look for pullbacks. Let's look for breaks of lows, and let's trade down to 148.50. This is a great area. Next spot, we posted a whole bunch of charts. I mean, just charts galore. Pound Aussie, same kind of situation. Looking for this thing to break trend lines, give us some double tops. Kind of make its way into that area. And pound Aussie is looking pretty darn good. You can see the pound Aussie has double topped. I had to delete my trend line for a drawing purpose, but this is that trend line that we're watching and looking for and so on. And it has done a good job. So double topped up here. It's broken out to the downside. Still looking for some pretty good low levels. You can see in the drawing here, I'm looking to get a couple hundred good pips out of this thing. I think we can make our way down pretty nicely towards 16600 area. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, 16600. I know that's 400 pips, but remember the pound Aussie doesn't tend to blink at 400 pips. This low to high here is 1,000. So why not just give us a quick 400? So anyway, just still kind of watching these areas, ready for some movement down into that 16600. So pound Aussie looks awesome. It came off that double top super nicely, and is breaking lows and doing a good job. So let's just watch those lows. We're definitely interested in, are we making lower lows? Are we trading this thing down? And I think we're getting pretty close to there. By the way, not to mention our bar count, I think, is looking pretty decent, 363. So good bar count on pound Aussie as well. So pound pairs are going bananas on these bar counts. So anyway, that's again the focus of many of these pound pairs. Pound CAD was the same thing. So this was the chart that was posted, and double top, nice little double top. We've got some consolidation here between about 165.50 and 167.50, and that's all fine and dandy. Looking for a minimum move into about 163.50. So once we get some breaks of lows and so on, still looking for about 200 pips. But it's done good off this double top. We may get a triple top here, which is all fine and dandy, and then and then we'll look for that push down there. So we're kind of a little bit in the middle. We're at the high, the upper portion of the middle of this little consolidation of the last several days. So nice double top there. Everything went great. Came off that. We were chatting about this in the chat over the last couple of days. Definitely interested in kind of these 1 hour and 4 hour charts and in that whole movement. So here's the chart that was posted there. It ran up perfectly, as you can see there, and hit and came down. So we hit about 67.50. We came down to 66.15 just about. So well over 100 pips of nice steady movement there. So this is a good reason. Again, I liked all the pound pairs, but as a group, I can't really, get us into 5 pound trades or 4 pound trades because that causes, potential trouble. But for those that are managing your own, your own trades and you're good on your money management, keep an eye on the chat because we're discussing these things. We're discussing them, here in the chat. We talked quite a bit about pound pairs over the last couple of days. And then, of course, I'm posting notes and charts on a regular basis. So that gives us some good opportunities to kind of say, okay, we already have a trade going on a pound pair, but I know that I'm in pretty light, and I'm going to throw this on my own account, and kind of make sure that we still get some pips and still get some activity, without me having to try to navigate the group through too much exposure. So. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Pound exposure, pound exposure. Oh, Dennis, I'm just seeing your comment there. Last day of week of babysitting 4 grandkids, 2 to 8 years old. Whew, man, that is a task. That is a task. I babysit my own kids, and there's half that many, and it's quite a task. So, yeah, good for you. Good for you, Dennis. It's good exercise. Keeps keeps you on your toes. So that's great. So, guys, make sure you're trying to be active in the chat. Make sure you're keeping up with the chat. I know, I hear from a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I've heard over the years, I've had some sort of chat group for Forex trading for a lot of years, and people will say, oh, I'm kind of uncomfortable, chatting or whatever. Totally fine. You don't have to be comfortable chatting, but read and keep updated. Make sure you're staying updated. And it looks like we're getting some good eyes. 50 to 100 people are looking pretty regularly at our notes, and so that's good. I just want to make sure everybody is getting the updates, and you're able to take advantage of these movements. So pound pairs have been heavy on the list. We're going to watch this double top again. We're going to watch for these lows. We're going to watch for 163.50. Let's just write that down. And again, I'm kind of going a little tiny bit generous here. 63.50. Generous on the profit target, so that not generous. I guess conservative is a better word here. 163.50. Pound CAD. Pound yen. 148.50. Pound Aussie. 166.00. Put that in there. We don't have that. 166.00. So there's a lot of pips to be had here, folks. Let's not miss out on these. There's big stuff in the works. So, Yeah, Chris. Yeah, grandkids' greatest invention ever. Does it have to do with it being able to hand them back to their parents once they get kind of strung out and cranky? Is that part of it? 'Cause I know that's what my in-laws do, and the grandparents. Here's your kids back. There you go. They're really cute. I'm gonna take them now. Oh, that's great. Okay, so we're looking for these levels. Pound Aussie, 16600. Pound CAD, 163.50. Pound Yen, 148.50. And Pound Swiss, we're definitely looking at this one as well. So Pound Swiss, we're looking at least, I'm going to call this 12800 as kind of the profit target, 2800. Um, and there's going to be some good pips here. So 120. Now, guys, remember, I will post as many pending orders as I responsibly can without overexposing us to too much. But remember, I'm trying to help you guys find direction, and then whatever system you're feeling comfortable with, whatever you're doing, whether you like to scalp your way through a trade, or you like to go long term, or you like to scale, or whatever the principles that we talk about on a regular basis, I will provide direction. I'll provide where this thing is headed, and you guys, with the exception of the pending orders that come through, you guys can trade your system as long as we know the direction and we know the targeted areas, and we have pretty good direction and pretty good targeted areas on these pound pairs. So let's excuse me, let's make sure we're looking at that and going for that. So this isn't all, it's not all just sit back and press buttons and be a robot, right? This is, here's the direction, here's how we're going to trade it. Use your system, use my system. Let's just make some money because we know there's a really high likelihood that pound pairs are going to move down a couple hundred pips over the next little while, and I think they will. I'm pretty confident they will. So just again, 12800 pound Swiss. Let's get pips on there. 148.50 pound yen, 163.50 pound CAD, and 16600 pound Aussie. These are levels we want to see get hit, and let's not miss out on that. So we got some pretty good. I forgot to mark this one. We got some pretty good support here on this pound Swiss. The mother of all support. Breaking. Boom. There it is. So we're gonna watch that. We're gonna keep an eye on that. That's a good little level to watch. Um, so good. Okay. Have I rehashed the pound pairs enough? Just a little reminder: if anyone is just logging in, um, I'm recommending let's protect a pretty good amount of profit on this euro pound. So again, we're up 60 pips now. We got an entry filled at 87.70, and here we are at 88.30. So nice little trade. By the way, I don't think this trade went any more than I don't think this thing went any more than maybe 10 pips against us. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe 15. No, maybe 15. Maybe 15, 15. Well, no, maybe, yeah. 87.6. No, I don't think it went. I don't think it went 10 pips against us. I don't think this trade has gone 10 pips against us. It's been our lows since we got in 87.60, so it could have potentially gone exactly 10 pips against us. Very clean entry, very good little push there, and let's just make sure we're locking in some profit. So lock in that profit. Let's hold on to those pips because we definitely have some good ones. So let's do it. Frank, good question. Like your opinion on say pound Aussie. We're looking at okay, multiple short of time frames. Okay, let me make sure I got this question. Pound Aussie. Yes, we want to see it get to 16600. Oh, in one trade. Oh, sorry, I missed the one trade part. Yes, so Frank, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that you can trade this any way you like. I personally, and of course, as we protect more on this euro pound, I'll get a pending order posted. But to give you a little heads up on that pound Aussie, for example, I would like to just hold on to as few positions as possible and let them run as far as possible. So remember, the risk in trading is all it's all front loaded. It's all in the entry, right? And so if we get a good entry, you want to hold on to it as long as you can until that profit target or until as close to that profit target as possible. So, yes, you can do a couple of things. You can trade it down on shorter time frames and kind of take 50 pip chunks at a time, and that's super great. That's totally great. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to try to just let trades run as long as possible because that takes so much risk out of entries and exits and managing positions and so on. So that would be the goal. But you can definitely dial into some of these smaller time frames. You can go even smaller, like 5 minute charts. And the 5 minute chart on the pound Aussie is totally sideways. As this thing starts to pick up a little bit of momentum, and remember, Frank, if you've got the Trade Finder stuff, don't hesitate to throw some Trade Finder business on here and just kind of watch as these moving averages start to start to get a little daylight in there, and they start to kind of make some lower lows and lower highs, and this thing just kind of starts making its way down. There's definitely going to be plenty of opportunities on the way to 16600 for short term, you know, 20, 30, 40 pip scalps, and or opportunities to kind of let this run on the on the longer term time frames and so on. So yeah, that makes sense. That answers your question. Scaling. What about scaling out? Yeah. Um, I'm not a big scale out person, and not for any other reason other than it's hard for me to, to see, say, $1,000 in profit, right? And I close half of that, so I've taken $500. Now I've got $500 running, and then that pulls back, and I end up on my, second half taking $300. I always feel like that's a bummer. And so I just, for whatever reason, have kind of a bad taste in my mouth for scaling out of trades. I love scaling into trades, but once I get to an area where I say, okay, this is a decent area for the market to maybe slow down, and I've got a bit of profit, I'm totally good with just taking all of my profit off and closing the trade out completely. So you can absolutely scale out. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't like to do it personally, but it's absolutely not a bad method at all. So you can do some good stuff with that for sure. For sure. Okay, so pound pairs, guys. Have I officially and sufficiently pounded the intensity and the necessity for pound pairs into everybody's minds and trading brains? Are you guys pretty good on pound stuff? Everyone feeling good about that? Yeah, good comment, Frank. Definitely good comments. Good comments, good questions for sure. Uh, Mike says, consider us pounded. Absolutely. Okay, good. Want to make sure that's all good. All right, guys. So pound pairs. Let's let's just attack. Let's just go for it. Euro. Look at this euro dollar. Not really doing too terribly much here. I'm looking to see what this euro dollar might be up to, but it's not high on my list right this moment. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch as we get potential. A lot of stuff down in here. Good grief. I'm gonna watch as we get some of this stuff happening. Yeah. Hold the phone, folks. Hold on to it. There we go. Clean these charts up just a little bit. I'm going to watch this kind of stuff right here. There's kind of an interesting, an interesting level of stuff, of stuff happening here on the euro dollar, and so I'm going to watch and see if this pulls back and can kind of hold, this area. Maybe it bounces around a little bit and see if it can give us one more push down. I'm not, like for example, right now, as you can tell, I feel very passionate about trading the pound pairs. I do not feel very passionate at all about trading the euro dollar. So I'm just going to watch this area. I'm going to kind of watch this 118.50 to like 11900 zone and just see what it does. I think the euro might be able to squeeze higher and just make more pain for everybody. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it personally. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it, see what it does, see where it goes. But overall, um, yeah, just watch that area. So just wanted to comment on that quickly. Good, Mike. Traded earlier in the week for a few pips. Is that euro dollar you're talking about? If so, well, anything you made a few pips on, that's good news in my book. But yeah, made some money on euro dollar. That's awesome. That's super great. Cool. Okay, euro dollar, great. So euro dollar, just kind of keep that on the watch list. On that note, dollar Swiss franc and franc. I think of you every time I say dollar Swiss franc. Uh, Partially because of the name, and the other part because I know you had a lot of positions on here, which you mentioned you might have closed some of those out. I mentioned earlier in the week. When did I talk about this? Dollar Swiss franc. Oh yeah. So this was on Wednesday. So there's Wednesday right there. Dollar Swiss franc update. If you can close dollar Swiss franc at break even or with some small profits, do it. The battle at 97.70 continues on. So I tried to kind of give everybody. Well, I didn't try. I did give everyone a little look at what I suggested here. Um, Take profit, and if your current positions will allow it. So on Wednesday, what was Wednesday? I don't remember what Wednesday was, but it was some date. Wednesday was the 27th. So on Wednesday, you can see we were battling. There's the 27th. We were battling these highs. We were up at 97, 50, 60, 70. We even hit 70 right on the nose again. And, we're 80, 75, 80 pips off that high again. So that's where I just said, if you can take profit, take some darn profit. I still think dollar Swiss is going to make its way through this level and up here. And honestly, I'm going to probably trade it up here. I'm going to let this dollar Swiss get above, give us some good confirmation, pull back, retest, reject everything, and trade this thing up into parity and thereabouts. I think that is an absolute excellent possibility, and it's very likely going to get there. But for the sake of getting the hell out of these trades and just clearing the deck, I think this is a good idea. So okay, all right, Mike. Got out a while ago. Good. So just for the sake of kind of clearing those puppies out, that's what I was. That's what I was referring to. So, non-revenge trading revenge. Is this like a disclaimer, Frank? Like, I know that revenge trading is bad, so I'm gonna do some non-revenge revenge trading. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's hilarious. So remember, in our active positions, we had plenty of entries. I mean, we had some high entries at 98.50 and 98, 23 going back quite some time. But we had entries all the way down at 95, 96, 95, 96.50, 97.05. So if you just follow these along, and I know a lot of people got even better entries than these, but if you just follow these along, you should absolutely, even now, still be in some decent profit from those 95, 95.50, and 9600 entries. You should be in, some amount of profit up around that. I mean, we're a little chunk off those highs now, but hopefully there was enough profit to close those out. So that is what I am strongly recommending there. But that's it. Yeah, anything above 97.70, we get some good confirmation above that. I'm going to jump back in and just take some darn profits, or excuse me, take some moves higher and grab some more profits on this dollar Swiss. So definitely interested in doing that. Okay, to wrap everything up this morning, I just wanted to briefly discuss. I'm still interested in getting long CAD Swiss, but here's a trade recommendation this week that put up a little bit of a fight. I think it was this week. Did I have CAD Swiss this week? I think I did. I think I did. I mean, I know I had it at some point, but there we go. There's the old CAD Swiss. So that worked out okay. So we had this nice little trend line. It ended up going from 90, or excuse me, 78.50 up to about 78.80 before chopping back down. But Oh, maybe it went even higher. We got all the way up to 7,900. So this thing ran up about 50 pips, but then gave us this wild breakdown for a nice little chunk of pips, and just just did well. So there's a nice little sell trade, nice little breakout. I know a couple of people were in that, made money on it. So congratulations, very nicely done. I would like to see some big buy of the dips here. 76.50 is still kind of my area. Uh, of course, it's a pretty obvious target there of why we're watching that 78.50. Nice monthly and daily pivot down there. But there's also just a good amount of consolidation down there, and if we can get a little bit lower, I'm anxious to buy these dips and trade this thing higher. Now, remember, got to be a little bit careful because we're kind of playing with this channel right here, and I want to be pretty aware of that, pretty conscious of what's happening there. And you can see, we had that dip over here, which we nicely came back and hit a couple of times, but we're failing to break above that. So I want to get down just a little bit lower, kind of recharge the batteries. I think this thing's ready to break higher and continue on up. So very, very nice little run. Hopefully off these lows and back up into those highs. So CAD Swiss overall looks good for a little bit of a push lower, and then we'll start talking about buying those dips and trading it up. And same thing on CAD Yen. It's been choppy, but I've been patient and not jumped into it. Very nice head and shoulders pattern, just kind of watching for the retest. We've got some nice trend lines and so on here. So getting this back down into, as I've talked about, 89.50. Here we are at 90.15, 89.50, 88, 75, 88.50. These are all good areas that should give us some nice buying opportunities. So watching for another 50 to 75 pips of movement to the downside, and then we can really start jumping in, hopefully, to some longs on CAD Yen. So as you can see, my focus next week, I would like to get a CAD Yen. I'd like to get a CAD Yen buy trade, 50 to, we'll say, 100 pips lower than current market price. I would like to continue trading the heck out of pound pairs. So pound has been good this week, and I think it's going to continue to be good. So I want to trade those a bit more this coming week as well. Remember, euro pound, lock in plenty of profit. We're sitting on 65 pips in profit now, which is great. I love that. That's super awesome. So let's lock in. Like I said, I haven't even done it yet, but I'm gonna move my stop loss up there to probably 88.20 now. So 88.20. So that's locking in 50 full pips. 88.20, 50 pips. We'll give this thing 15 pips to kind of bounce around and just keep on moving higher. So I'm gonna lock in 50 pips on this trade, which I don't feel bad about. I feel okay about taking that, and we'll just see how much higher it can push. Okay, guys, so that's all I got. You guys have anything else? Any pairs you want to bring up? Hopefully you guys have had a decent week. Hopefully made a couple of dollar bills in the trades and so on and so forth. Questions, comments? You guys have anything before we wrap it up? It's been a good week. So tell me, guys, real super quick. I always like to get it from the mouth of the of all parties concerned. Oh, Jim, yeah, Jim. Okay, I will look at that. Aussie New Zealand. Actually, I did look at that this morning. Aussie New Zealand is definitely kind of breaking out. I had this more as just a reminder. I didn't want to really trade that. But I had that as a reminder of, runs into these lows. Aussie New Zealand at this point is just floundering, and this thing can do it for long periods of time. It can just bounce and bounce and bounce around. Still looking at 106, 107 as a buy zone. You can see that we're kind of stuck around this 108 kind of 40-50 area, which is resistance, resistance, breakout, support, support. So if we can get below this, there may be some opportunities to short it below here. It's definitely moving into bearish territory. If for the at least for the short term. So probably below this area, there could be some nice opportunities to short it. But kind of for this one, I think there's better short term pound trades in the works. And I would rather just kind of look for a slightly longer term trade on the Aussie New Zealand for a buy on this big dip. So you could short it, you could sell it on the way down through some of this support, but I think the buy is still, kind of the better longer term direction, in my opinion. Good question, Jim. Good question. Jim, I feel like I saw a picture of you pop up on Telegram. I think your Telegram has a picture of you now. And by the way, guys, I love to see what everyone looks like. I think it's great. I talk to you guys so much, and putting a face to names is always fun. So I think I've seen your face, Jim, which is excellent. So yeah, good one though. Good one. I like that. I like that Aussie New Zealand, but hopefully a dip there will help us out. Okay, so that's where we are. Some nice profits this week, some nice pips this week. Remember, let's lock in 50, a nice 50 on the euro pound, and we'll just kind of trade everything else right on through. Otherwise, so very good stuff this week. What do we have on the calendar for next week? Anything exciting for news? Bank holiday, Australia and China. What do you guys have going on out there in Australia? Banks in some states do not observe this holiday and will remain open. All right. And Chinese banks will be closed in observance of Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day. All right, sounds good. So, Australian, whoo, that's going to be a big guy. Australian interest rate news on Monday. Nothing too exciting happening on Tuesday. Wednesday, Yellen, ISM, ADP, retail sales, trade balance for Australia. Thursday, nothing too exciting. Friday, Canadian and U.S. employment numbers. It's going to be a big week next week, guys. So let's be ready for that. I'm super ready. So, okay, everyone. Last little note, I've sent out a couple of, kind of questionnaires, surveys, if you will. I don't know who has answered specifically, but I can see that a lot of people have answered. Is everyone feeling like you're getting information okay? I am enjoying kind of doing Monday and Friday sessions, and just updating the heck out of everything. If I need to stay up all night and trade during the week, and just kind of update charts so you guys can follow along, I'm liking that. And everyone seemed very positive about that in the surveys. Quite a few people, probably the majority of members in the group, answered that and said that that was okay as well. So, you guys feeling okay? Is everyone getting enough information? Time zones are tricky, and so it's hard to have kind of a fixed schedule every day of live sessions every day at this time. So that's why I want to make sure that we're getting enough information out. With not having live sessions Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I'm live in the chat. I post videos every day. I post charts every day. I post trade ideas every day. So I want to make sure that that's feeling like enough for you guys and working out okay. So if that is, let me know, and we'll continue on. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. If you have any other pairs you want to bring up, please feel free, and we'll take it from there. So lovely being with you all this wonderful Friday morning. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys back here for a live session on Monday, kind of our weekly planning session, and we'll see how everything kind of totally finishes the week off and starts the week next week. So we'll take it from there. But Ron, always good to see you. Thanks. Have a great weekend as well. And thanks, everyone. Nice to see you guys. Take care, and we'll catch you back here on Monday. See you guys.